What's up, DJs? Welcome to part 2 of this series, where today we're going to be focused solely on the neural mix functionality. Now, what this is going to allow you to do is be able to solo your vocal, your harmonics, so whether that's your bass and your melody separately or your bass and melody together, as well as your drums. So as soon as you look at the controller, you see that we have this neural mix option right here. So if we're in hot cue, all we have to do is go ahead and press this neural mix on both sides. Now, when we're in the actual software, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the neural mix in the software just by clicking that in right there. As you can see, I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So the first thing that you wanna actually notice is that you have some different functionalities here. So on my right-hand side, if I go ahead and click this neural mix right here, you see that I have the 4 columns selected. And on this side, I only have 3 columns selected. So what that's going to mean is on this side, I have my drums, my bass, my harmonics, and my vocals. On the left side, I just have my drums, harmonic, and vocals. So again, when we see harmonics, that's gonna mean your bass and your melody. Whereas opposed to on this side, we have bass and harmonic. The harmonic is just going to be the melody. So how these pads correspond with the software is if I go ahead and I press 1 here, I'm just gonna have my drums. So if I go ahead and play this track here, you can only hear the drums. So if I go ahead and hit pause and I go ahead and press just number 2, now we have my harmonic. So that's gonna be your bass and your melody. And then same thing with 3. If I go ahead and just press 3 here, now we just have my vocal.
Feeling like a caged bird. I wanna spread my wings and fly. That freedom.
So essentially these top pads are allowing you to solo each of these parts of the song. So if I press all of them, that'll of course play the full song.
My girl packing bags, but we about to catch a cab. Then we need freedom.
Now on the pads directly below that, this bottom row, this is gonna allow us to actually mute these items instead of actually soloing them. So if I go ahead and press 5 right here, if you look in the software, now we can see that the drums are actually muted.
Oh man, we can all use a little bit of freedom. Son,
So this essentially lets you pick whether you want to solo or you want to mute things. If we look over to number 6, we see that the harmonic is now muted, and number 7, we see that the vocals are now muted. So now if we go ahead and look over to the right side, we can see the same exact thing and we have the same functionality. However, we now have the bass and the harmonic are actually separated. So if I go ahead and press all 4 of these at the top, this is saying, okay, I want to solo all of these so that they're all playing. So this, we can now have just the bass right here. And then we can also add the harmonic. So the bottom row, again, that is the same. If we go ahead and click all of these, even though you don't see the actual icon for muting, all you're doing down here is we're actually muting them. And now if we go ahead and start unclicking these, we can see the waveforms actually show back up in the app right here. Now, as far as the pads, those are all of the different ways that you can use the neural mix functionality. But what you also have is this button here, which allows you to use these same functionalities, but with your EQ knobs as well. So if we go ahead and press this button here, the icons we have vocal, we have the harmonics, and we also have the drum right here. So now if I go ahead and I just take this top down, that's gonna take my vocals completely out. So the mid and the low EQ are going to do the exact same thing, except for the mid, that's going to be the harmonics. As you can see, the harmonics coming out. And then the bottom, as far as the low EQ, that's going to be for your drums. Now, having this functionality within these EQ knobs is definitely game changing because it allows you to be a lot more flexible when you're mixing. I'm actually going to give you an example of that in the next part of this series. But for now, I'm actually just going to show you an example using the pads.
I don't wanna work every day just to pay bills and die. I need freedom. Feeling like a caged bird. I wanna spread my wings and fly. That freedom. So my girl packing bags, man, we about to catch a cab. And we need freedom. Oh man, we can all use a little bit of freedom. Alarm going off, yeah. yeah, it's time to wake up. I miss a day of work, they say I gotta make up. Sitting at work and I'm really trying to stay up. I wanna walk out, but I'm trying to get my cake up. Thinking to myself, man, this can't be life. Looking at my check like this can't be right. Boss looking at me like you can't be mad. I say you trying to play me like I can't do math. Man, hop in my whip and it's falling apart. Baby mama tripping.
All right, so there's a quick example of me just taking the vocal out of one track and then using the vocal from another track to blend those together. As you can see, tons and tons of DJs are making mashups, and you now have the ability to do that with this particular controller, and you can also do it live. So I definitely encourage you to look through your entire library, see which bass lines you can take and remove and swap. Do the same thing with vocals, with the drums, with the harmonics. You have so much creativity at your fingertips with this controller. One more thing to actually be aware of in the DJ app is if you go ahead and go to the effects section right here, what you can also do is you can set one of these pads to actually echo out the vocal or the drums. So if I go ahead and click my pencil icon here and I go ahead and click the ellipses, if we scroll all the way down, I'm already at the bottom, but if you scroll all the way down, you have all of these different options. So this would be echoing out one beat. And as you can see, this microphone here, this is echoing out just that vocal. And then if you scroll down, you also have echo out for the drums as well. And then you can obviously change the beat. You also have some different options for chops, for fills, juggler, all of these different things. So this is how this actually works. So as you can see there, I went ahead and I took that instrumental out, or just the drums out. And then on the other example, as the song kept playing, I went ahead and I removed those vocals. So definitely keep in mind that you still have even more functionality and more ability to be creative within your effects section as well. And now without further ado, I'm gonna show you a few different transitions that you can use. And those are gonna be including using some of these neural mix functionalities. See you in the next part.